Hi everyone, welcome to AmalaMovement. I'm Charlotte. This April, I invite you to take some time on your mat to dive deep into a practice of self-discovery. Let's get started. So we're going to begin today's practice standing. So take your time, and I invite you to find a mountain pose or a variation of that works for you. So either bringing your big toes together and zipping up through the midline of the legs, or give yourself more space, hip distance apart, feet directly underneath the hips. Take your pick, all is good. Let's bring the palms together, Anjali Mudra. And wherever you are, find a soft bend in your knees. And slowly start to straighten the legs, but keep them ever so slightly bent. So before you reach the top, stop. The invitation is there to join me in closing the eyes. Feel a softness underneath your feet. Try to unclench your toes if you can. Starting to soften and deepen the breath as we begin our practice of self-discovery. So when we're taking this time in our yoga practice to tune into the self and discover how we're feeling, or perhaps the bigger question of who we are and what we want to do, there isn't a quick answer, there isn't a quick find. These questions are a lifelong, continuous journey that take time. So this practice today is all about giving yourself time to move, time to feel, time to digest what's going on in your yoga practice, but also what's happening off of your mat as well. This takes trust, this takes patience. So that is what I invite you to find with me today. Trust and patience. Trust and patience. Notice if your knees have started to lock. Be gentle, be kind to yourself, but find that little extra bend in the knees, a softness in the soles of the feet and of the toes. Gently pressing your chest up into your thumbs. Taking one more cycle of deep, loving, meaningful breath. Bowing the chin down towards the chest. Slowly starting to blink the eyes open, letting light back into the body. Arriving here today, showing up for yourself, for your practice. Let's slowly start to open the legs if they aren't already, so that the feet are directly underneath the hips. And bring your right hand to your lower belly and your left hand to your lower back, or around that area. This is just so we really have a felt sense of our center of our pelvis. We're going to take a sway in a circular motion. So let's start by sending your weight forwards over your toes. Sending your weight to the right hand side. Back on your heels. Try and keep your toes soft but grounded into the floor. Try not to let them lift. And then over to the left hand side. Coming forwards over the toes. Keep your heels on the floor if you can. And reverse the circle. So going to the left. back on your heels. Try and keep your toes soft but grounded. Over to the right, forwards, and then back to center. Close the eyes. And just this little movement, taking this little action, really can help with feeling center, finding your sense of ground, sensing your where you are physically, metaphorically, emotionally. Let's bring the palms of the hands together. Shuffle your feet inwards. So now we are bringing the toes together, coming to the top of your mat if you're not there already. And inhale, sweep your arms up high. Exhale, bring the hands down and hold opposite elbows behind your back. Open out through the chest and breathing here for 5 beautiful deep breaths. If you are looking for a deeper opening in the shoulders, you can take a reverse prayer, so Anjali Mudra behind your back, and working to bring the fingertips further up towards your neck. Keep squeezing the palms of the hands together and opening out through the elbows so the chest is wide. Be patient. Notice what comes up physically as we are still. Notice what perhaps is quite loud in the mind when we are still. Maybe you have that little voice asking for you to do more, but this is enough. This is where we are. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, shuffle the feet open, hip distance apart. Bend the knees, fold forwards. Taking a forward fold. This is your lifelong invitation to always bend your knees in a forward fold. Let your belly rest on your thighs. Let the skin of your back soften and widen with each and every exhale. Have a gentle nod of your head and a shake of your head as if you're saying no. Bringing your hands up onto your thighs. Inhale, carve a line with your nose, look forwards. Finding our flat back position and shuffling your feet open so that they're mat distance apart with your heels pointing in on a diagonal and your toes out towards the side. Stick your bum out behind you, keep this long spine. And exhale, bend the knees and we come all the way down into Malasana, our squat pose. You can bring the hands inside the knees, elbows pressing outwards so that we lift our chest. Also, of course, feel free to have the fingertips on the floor, and there's the invitation to find a rock and a sway from side to side. If Malasana is feeling new today, if you're feeling as though you are looking for movement here, and wherever you are, bring the breath. Allow the weight of your pelvis, that center point, that center of gravity that we began with, finding in our circular motion, to feel heavy. Let your pelvis drop down so your chest, the top of your head can open. Breathe here. Exhale, plant your palms, send your hips up high, and step your feet back to downward facing dog. Pedaling out mindfully through the backs of the legs. And paying attention to these in-between moments of our practice. Where does your mind go when we're transitioning between one pose to the next? Do you rush to get there, or do you pay attention to the sensations, the textures around you? Relaxing the back of the neck. and finding stillness in the legs. Inhale to look forwards. And exhale very, very slowly, bending the knees and softly letting them land on the earth. Untuck your toes and bring your bottom to your heels. Sitting up tall, bringing your hands to rest on your thighs. And we're working today towards finding our rabbit pose. So if rabbit pose is new for you, don't worry, I'm going to talk us through step by step. And if you're familiar with rabbit pose, I still invite you to stay with me. So build up the fundamentals, find the basics, and that really helps progress in our practice wherever we are in our yoga journey together. So bringing your hands onto your thighs. Keep a bit of space in between your toes. Roll your shoulders in towards the back. Find length in the spine. Drop your chin down towards your chest. And vertebrae by vertebrae, really, really slowly, you're going to roll all the way down. And I really mean this. Take your time with this roll down. When your head is nearly towards the floor, bring your hands to the earth so that you can support yourself in slowly coming down all the way to your mat. So you're looking to bring the very top of your head on the earth. So right the crown of the head. Press through the tops of your feet. It's important to use this press through the backs of the feet. Continue to round the spine. Keep your bottom attached to your heels for now. And then slowly release. Use your hands to press into the mat. Roll vertebrae by vertebrae all the way back up through the spine. And your head is the last thing to lift. Sit up nice and tall. Move slowly so we don't get too dizzy. Shoulders into the back. Hands to heart center. Lift your thumb up towards your chest. Be patient. Trust. So you're welcome to do this movement again. We're going to add on another layer. If your knees are not enjoying this so much, I invite you to trust your practice. Maybe take a downward facing dog, stretch out through the legs, or come to seated. So the next variation of rabbit pose we're going to look at together starts in a similar manner. So sitting up tall, shoulders rolling back into the back, hands to your thighs. Inhale. Drop your chin down towards the chest. And take your time to roll yourself all the way down. When your head nears the floor, bring your hands to the earth so you can help support yourself. And working towards bringing the very tip, the top of the head to the mat. Activate the legs, so pressing down through the tops of the feet. You can stay here, or if you want to work towards coming up onto the head, keeping your hands attached to the earth, pressing through the feet and rolling up onto the head. You may need to slide your head further away from your knees to give yourself more space. Keep the hands and the elbows attached to the floor. If at any point you feel any discomfort in the neck or in the breath, ease off, come out of the pose. Breathe deep into the whole of your body. You can stay here with your forearms on the mat, or bring your left hand to your left heel, your right hand to your right heel. Press your hips away from the mat, continue to round the spine, and find a gentle pull of your arms, of your hands against your heels. So actively pulling away from the feet, rounding the spine, top of the head on the floor for 3, 2, 1, and then slowly, slowly ease off. Really take your time, bring your hips back down to the heels. Reverse the way you came in. Elbows to the floor, forearms down, rolling up. Hands to the mat to help you. And your head is the last thing to lift. Stacking the head over the shoulders. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, heart center. Take a moment to feeling this rush of energy up the body and down in towards the pelvis. Here, blinking the eyes open. Bring your right hand to your right knee. Find a gentle twist. Inhale. And then exhale, come to the other side. Left hand to left knee. Keep space in the collarbones. Coming back through, coming onto all fours. Elbows to the mat. Index finger pointing forwards. And slide your knees all the way back. Lower your pelvis to the earth. Sphinx pose. Roll the shoulders back. Beam the heart forwards. Imagine you've got light shining out through your chest. Similar to rabbit pose, actively pressing the tops of your feet into the floor behind you so that the legs, the quadriceps are engaged. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Surrender into this beautiful opening for the side of the neck, the back body, the heart space shining forwards. Bring your head back up to center. Keep pressing through the elbows. Notice if you started to dip. Shine the heart forward. Bring the left ear to the left shoulder. Pressing through the tops of the feet. Bring your head back up to center. Draw your belly in, activate your core. Scoop your pelvis up. Walk back on your elbows, big toes together. Send your hips back, child's pose. Just for a moment. Let your belly be soft. And slowly roll yourself all the way up through the spine. Come to seated. Shoulders in towards the back. Come back onto all fours. And then find your way around, crossing your legs with your right foot in front. So we're working on a hip opener. So starting with your right leg in front and activating the foot. So flexing the toes, flexing the ankle. And this may already be enough. You may already be feeling this stretch in the hips. If you know that your lower back is rounding, perhaps you're a little tighter in the pelvis today, of course, as always, prop yourself up with a pillow, blanket or block, something like that. So we can stay here. The next step is to work towards bringing the right foot on top of the left knee and having this box shape, working towards pressing the right knee down towards the earth and being here. Or you can join me today in our variation of cow face, working with the lower body, where you're working towards both knees being stacked on top of each other, pointing forwards, engaging the feet, so flexing the toes. So we're all working with our variations. Wherever you are, bring the palms of your hands together, Anjali Mudra. Press your chest up into your thumbs, soften through the shoulders. Close your eyes. Be patient and trust. If your eyes have been closed, starting to blink them open. Wherever you are, grabbing hold of your right foot and your right knee, so really supporting yourself. Bringing the right leg all the way around and extending it out long towards the side. bringing your left knee in towards the thigh. So we're coming to Janu Shasana. And if you haven't already, shift your pelvis. So we were facing the side, now we're facing our right foot. Shoulders in towards the back. Activate through the toes, so draw the right toes up towards the body. Inhale, lift a beach ball over your head. Exhale, bend the right knee, lengthen through the spine, take a forward fold. Relax the arms down, find somewhere to rest, somewhere to soften and to let go. And I really invite that we let go of this expectation of needing to or wanting to, for whatever reason, bring your nose to your knee. So this actually tends to cause so much tension and unnecessary stress in the body and in the mind. Rather, let that pass, let that go. Find length. If anything, think about your nose to your toes. That helps us to find length and a spaciousness through the whole of the body. Inhale, carve a line with your nose, look forwards. Exhale to release. Bring the leg through and around. Right leg behind, left leg in front. Let's take our cow face variation on the other side. So starting off together and then building up without any expectation to where your body meets yourself today. So cross-legged to begin, actively engaging through the left foot. You can stay here. You can work towards finding a box shape with the legs. So that means bringing your left foot on top of the right knee and aiming to press this left knee down towards the right. This is the next place. The final place I invite us to go to today is cow face. So that means stacking the knees on top of each other, aiming to have both knees pointing forwards, and particularly this left hip, ground it down. Find a place that you can continue to breathe. Palms of the hands coming together. Activating through the ankles and the toes. Gently lifting your chest up to meet your thumbs. Notice what this brings up, if anything, in the body, in the mind, and the breath. Give yourself this time to trust. Be patient. Slowly starting to blink the eyes open. Holding onto your left knee and your left foot, helping yourself round. Changing your orientation, so shifting your hips. Left leg is out long, flexing through the toes, and the right knee is bent with the foot pressing really actively into the thigh. Bend your left knee, sitting up tall, inhale. Exhale, long spine, folding over the left leg. Janu Shasana. So this inevitably is going to feel very different from the right side. So don't go in with the expectation of, oh yeah, I managed to get so far on this side, so I should be able to do this on this side as well. It's not quite how the body works. Be kind. Appreciate where you are today. Notice if these thoughts have started creeping in about having to get your knee to your nose. Quietly push those thoughts away. Carve a line with your nose to look forwards. Inhale. And exhale, easing off. Bringing your feet in and making your way all the way down to your back. Taking your time. And when you get there, having your feet standing, knees up towards the sky. Bringing your left knee in towards your chest. Your left arm is going to go on the inside edge of the left knee and catching hold of your big toe. So this variation of happy baby. If this feels super yummy for you today, you can bring the left hand to the outside edge of your left foot. Let's take the other side as well. So the right hand comes up the inside edge of the right knee, starting off by holding on your first two fingers, wrapping around your right big toe. You can stay here. And if it feels really nice, the hand on the outside edge of the right foot. So both knees are coming up into your variation of happy baby that works for you today. Stillness might feel really good right now. A gentle sway from side to side might feel really good. Playing with straightening, bending the knees might feel really good. So trust your practice. Trust your journey. Keep the right knee where it is. Bring the left leg down, feet standing, knees up towards the sky. Have a moment for your right leg to fly solo. And then bring your right foot down, knee up towards the sky. Coming into a place that you can rest. Take any final movements of the pelvis. And if it feels nice to straighten out the legs today, resting the hands down by your side, palms up towards the sky. Taking an inhale through the nose and an exhale to release, sigh out through the mouth. And as we lie here together, just really appreciating and valuing that this practice does take time. And if we were to imagine our mind and our thoughts like muddy or cloudy water, the more we are moving and pushing through, we shake up the muddy water, the mud goes everywhere, and the water, you can't see through it. But then you lie down and you rest and you settle, and over time, all of that muddiness and cloudiness in the water or in our thoughts can start to settle, and the mud sits at the bottom. But this can only happen when we give ourselves the time to rest. And when our mind or the water is clear, then our heart or our soul can start to see. And this is the magic of yoga. Stay here for as long as you need today. And when you're ready, bring the palms of your hands together, your thumbs up to your third eye. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me today. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.